Okay, the objective of this particular video is I'm going to show you how to get to Discovery Education, um, how to research using Discovery Education, and how to cite the sources in Discovery Education, and lastly, what I expect for your notes to look like. So, Discovery Education is easily accessible through my homepage. If you were to click on this hyperlink right here, it'll take you to Discovery Education, which is saved on you guys' iPads as your homepage. So I'm actually going to go to Discovery Education. When you log in, you're actually going to type in your student ID for your username and your password for your password, and you will log in and have full access to the features of this particular thing. I'm going to log in right now under myself, but you're going to see pretty much the same interface that I see as a teacher. Okay, so once you get into Discovery Education, one of the easiest things that you can do at this point is, let's say you've chosen your society from the list. So the first thing you're going to want to do is type the name of that society into your list. So if I were to type, off the top of my head, I know that Hittites were one of the societies. If I type the word Hittite into the search field, what will happen is you will see a whole bunch of different examples of videos that actually teach what a Hittite is, a Hittite warrior, all that stuff. And what I would like for you to do is kind of look up these types of videos and see if they're the types of things that you're going to want to use. The same thing is true as you go through. You know, if you're not sure which society to put in, try a whole bunch of different societies in the search field and see if the type of resources that they have are going to be you know, something that you want to stick with in research. That's the first stage. Is you definitely need to see if you've got enough sources, or if what you're looking at or what you've chosen to research is something that's going to interest you in the long term. But once you have committed to researching for something, then let's say we go to this video, the Hittite artifacts provide the world's. So I look and I click on this and it takes me to a video. If I actually hit play, it'll play it. But before we can even do this, in the event that you are going to use this source, you need to cite it on the notes. I gave you a sheet of paper that looks eerily like this, like it has directions above it. However, this is the part that I want you to actually put your citation in and then write the notes below. And I want to show kind of how that should get done. So using Discovery Education to cite it, this is so awesome. This is why I love Discovery Education, is if you simply click here under citations, it actually says in MLA format, this is how you cite it. So in the event that I want to give credit where credit is due, using this particular video, all I have to do is copy this onto my sheet of paper. And yes, here's the trick though. You do, if I were in your position, I would, when I write this, I would underline that to let everybody know that when you actually type it out, that should be italicized. Then you have this part. And yes, you need to actually, the little punctuation marks, you have to copy them character for character. Same thing with all of this stuff. It has to be there. However, once you have it there, and for me it's easy because I can just hit Control-C and copy it, then that must be translated then into this area of your references page, in the area on your notes. So you have an area on your notes specifically for you to record this, and I'm going to make it bigger. And then that way, on your, whoops, Control-Z, let's do that again. When you actually do this on your sheet, that it is easier to follow what's going on, because then here's the citation, you've given credit where credit is due, it's there. So you definitely want to copy that. However, and I'm actually going to change the font to Times New Roman just to make my life easier as I'm trying to show you this. So now you've got your citation done, and now you're going to be able to, there we go. This program is kind of weird when it copies and pastes things. However, when you start, let's say you watch the video and you're starting to take notes, and you're like, okay, I'm learning about the video, I've got this, I'm summarizing information from the video, you're listening to the audio, you're watching the video, and now you're typing your information. Now, I haven't actually watched this video, so I'm just going to. The Hittites did, and then I don't really know what they did because I didn't watch the video. However, this would all be information that came from the video. The only thing you have to do to give credit where credit is due is, because this is a longer beginning right here, because this is such a long, and yet it's unique. What we can put inside of the parentheses is we can actually type Hittite artifacts, and that's good enough as far as I'm concerned, because that's unique enough that we'll do that. If you have another source called Hittite artifacts, then that obviously isn't going to work. You might have to go to the next word and do provide. Nonetheless, that's how you give credit where credit is due. So as you watch the video, summarize or paraphrase what it is that you're learning. If you directly quote what the narrator says, put it inside of quotation marks. Nonetheless, every single time, the very lead part, this thing up here, the very lead keywords have to be what you put inside of the parentheses. So once again, it's going to have to end with Hittite artifacts. Now, this is different than a published source that has page numbers and stuff, because there's no page numbers. You don't have to list a page number, and that's what makes doing these video and some of these online sources a whole lot easier to cite. However, you copy and paste, or you copy character for character the citation for your video into the space provided onto your sheet, and then you start watching the video and taking the notes accordingly, and you give credit where credit is due by providing the lead information that came from right here in your parentheses, because that's your way of saying, I didn't make up this information, I got it from this source. All right, this will be a summative grade, so hopefully you follow the directions. Good luck.